Welcome back, everybody, to Catching You. I'm your co-host, Rusty Ham. Beautiful daughter with me. Other co-host, Lacie. Lacie, say hi. The background looks familiar. Why does that look familiar to me?
I'm in my room.
What? I thought you were in Puerto Rico.
I am back for 2.5, 3 weeks, and because the national team is going to Colombia for a qualifier, and we can't play during that time. But then we go back middle of July for playoffs.
So that means T's not home. She's with the national
She's in
team.
Puerto Rico, yeah.
Oh my gosh. She gets no break.
And then beginning of August they go to China for the Pan Am
Wow.
World Games.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll get your take on Puerto Rico, but welcome back. You lied to me, right? You pretending you didn't know when your flight was, and it worked because before you left to Puerto Rico, you didn't know when your flight was. It was kind of last minute,
The
so
very last
it
minute.
was perfect because you could have told me anything and I would have believed it. Yeah, you could have told me anything and I would have believed it, and you
Yeah,
did
I did, and it was a long travel day, very long travel day.
all day Sunday.
All day Sunday, woke up at 7 a.m. I had a connecting flight in Baltimore, so I landed in Baltimore at 3 p.m. And then I got on a
So that
flight.
part was true.
That part was true.
Okay,
Mom was right. I was in
she
Baltimore.
just she just didn't say what day.
Yes. The whole point was to surprise him on Father's Day. I thought I would be getting back in time before he went to bed to be like, "Oh, happy Father's Day." But no, I boarded the
You
plane
got
at 6:30. Weather delay, sat sitting on the tarmac for about 2 hours, and then a passenger apparently booked a flight to Ontario, California, and he needed to go to Ontario, Canada. Now, I don't know why. I just didn't know why the plane was like let's get you back. And they said only if it's a medical or emergency, like please press the button, and the guy pressed the button. And he looked completely fine, but apparently he just booked the wrong ticket or to the wrong location, and it cost us 2.5 more
I mean,
hours.
there is an Ontario, California.
Right, but
Yeah, there's an Ontario, California, and there's Ontario, Canada. Yeah,
I'm confused on why the rest of the plane had to suffer due to someone else's mistake.
right, right.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it. Okay. Well, speaking of Father's Day, yeah, speaking of Father's Day, 7 years ago yesterday, you got doinked in the head by a comebacker from,
Mhm.
I think we can say her name now that she's out of college, from Amber Tovin, who originally got committed. She committed to Arizona and then transferred to Baylor. You threw a change up to her in practice in 14U your freshman year, and she hit a little comebacker to your skull,
Right. On
right?
Father's Day. Yeah.
On Father's Day, I was drinking coffee out in front of the house, just enjoying myself, just relaxing. I get a phone call from mom, and it changed a lot of things for that summer for sure.
It did, yeah.
So take us back to that day and that summer, because that's a big recruiting summer for you, right? Because you were playing with Mark Campbell,
Mhm.
one of the premier 14U coaches at the time. Just sought him out. But he never went to coaches and said, "Hey, I got this one player. If you are Mark Hamill's team, they were coming to you and watching the team, see if they can recruit you." So it was a big recruit, and you were playing well. You were pitching well, and then that happened. So take us back to that and the summer and how kind of mentally that kind of screwed you up a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think if that didn't happen, I don't know where I would be softball wise. And, I had teammates committed to Florida, Oregon. Those are the top two. But that's before the rule change, so that summer was the biggest summer of my life. And I had to sit out, except until I got to PGF. And I was actually talking to one of my Puerto Rican teammates about it because they asked me how I ended up at San Jose State. And
Mm.
I'm like, well, it's kind of a long story, and it involves my skull fracture, COVID, and moving organization. So there's a lot of things that unraveled. It's just a long story, long process. And I mentioned the skull fracture and how I came back within the month because they gave me a 3-month recovery time, and I came back within a month to pitch at PGF. And as I was talking out loud about it, I was wondering to myself, should I have sat out the whole summer and used that time, say, like during that PGF time, to really work on myself as a pitcher and try and get back to where I was previously? Because I feel like I don't think we rushed it. I definitely got better a lot faster than they thought I would, but I was kind of thrown into the fire right when we got back to PGF. And obviously that year at
Yeah,
PGF we didn't do very well.
you didn't have a whole lot of practices on your belt. You know the game you came back to pitch, when you came back, the team was okay, right? And you did you did pretty well, but I think the game that really kind of got you mentally was, you're playing the Corona Angels. It was a heated game. It was back and forth. Like, basically, whoever wins that game is like, they're gonna go far, right? Because you're in the winners bracket. Like, you kind of have a smooth sailing. So we meet Corona Angels. Liv was doing okay. It was close, but she got the bases loaded, and he calls you in. He asks you to come in to try to save the day. It's like, are you kidding me? You're out all summer. That you came in and bases loaded with Corona Angels, and you were asked to save the day, basically,
Oh
when you only had like one game under your belt. And this is PGF, right? And I believe it was like, we could have been ranked number one in the nation at that time, or pretty close to
yeah, we
it.
were.
So and we're predicted to do well in PGF, and then bases loaded. Liv is pitching well, but it's the Crown Angels. It's a heated game. We've had heated games with them before. And then all of a sudden, bases loaded, and they're like, "Okay, Lace, here's the ball. You pitched one game after a skull fracture, but here, good luck."
And at this point, okay, I don't know if I've told this story, but that PGF, I was not pitching. Liv was pitching, and there was a line drive back at Liv, but she caught it. And this was like the beginning of when I started having like those severe panic attacks. And I have one in the dugout, and Mark's like, Lacie, stop. Like, you need to, because who's in the stands right now? Mike Candrea, the head coach of Tennessee, head coach of Oklahoma, like it, and I'm hysterically bawling my eyes out, and no one knows why. I know why.
Or cares.
Or cares. No one cares. And I physically could not stop. Like it's like I transported my mind into Liv's mind, and I thought I was like that. I thought she was gonna get hurt too. And so that was kind of the start of the panic attacks, and I had no idea why that was happening. And so that was kind of the start of everything where I just was never the same. I was not the same pitcher I was. But I can say that my senior year of college, which is how many years after that? 6?
7,
6 years? 6 or 7
7.
years. It was the first year I never had one. I never had a panic attack. That was my first year I actually can remember not having one. And even though I had definitely had some balls like go over my head, go past me, and that was the first time first season that I had where I'm like, "Oh, I haven't freaked out since I think my junior year I had maybe a couple, but they were very minor." But it took me 6 years to eventually be fine. And that's why I'm going into what I'm going to do, is because I mean, neither me or you knew what was going on mentally. Like, why am I hysterically crying after a ground ball next to me?
Yeah, and I'm no sports psychologist, and And I knew why. You know, you had PTSD, right? And I felt so bad for you because of that, right? Because a ball was hit back to you. You know, this is in high school. You get a ball, and then you're just like hyperventilating. I'm like, she thinks she's gonna get hit in the head again. I mean, you think about it as a pitcher, you're involved in every single pitch, right? And I can see, you know, there's been some, you know, you played with a couple of people that took bad hops and went up to their teeth and shattered their teeth, right? So I can see them having a routine ground ball go to them and then freak out a little bit, like, oh, is this going to happen to me again? So I can see that, but you know, that's every once in a while. You're every single pitch, there's a potential of a ball coming right back at you,
Yeah, and I
right?
mean, what is the average amount of pitches per game? Like, say I pitch a full game, averaging 90 to 100 pitches a game. It's 100 different chances.
Right.
But, you know, everything's good now. But imagine, I mean, injuries happen daily. Every weekend at some sort of tournament, there's some sort of injury. But what are, like, do they know what's but that's the whole thing about sports psychology is like there's specific classes that I've seen like when I go into my master's program, psychology of post injury. And so I think that's going to be
Oh,
really
really?
interesting. Yeah. That's that's one of the things I really want to learn about. But yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, we'll get into that in a sec. So let's pivot to Puerto Rico. Everyone knows about your trip to Puerto Rico. Describe that feeling now that you're. Yeah, yeah, we told somebody you were a semi-pro, and she said, "Well, no, you're a pro." She's like, "It doesn't matter, semi-pro, you know, whatever. If you're getting paid, it's pro." So
it's
describe it. How does it feel?
it's much different. You know, I at the same time like I'm playing with girls that go to USF, like South Florida. I play with girls that go to Clemson. I'm playing with girls that went to Florida. And those are girls like around my age, maybe a freshman or sophomore in college. One of the girls, she got ACC Freshman of the Year, and I'm playing her. So there's that level of competition there. But then at the same time, there are girls that are local or native Puerto Ricans that didn't play at the NCAA level. They not that some of them played a year of JUCO in the States and went back home. Some played, you know, at the university in Puerto Rico. So there are some times where I some girls have never seen a rise ball in their life. Like they don't know what that is.
Right.
But there's a few teams like where we ranked fourth at the end of regular season. And the teams above us, you know, I mean, I'm in a pitcher's duel against Taryn Alvalo, who, if you didn't know, went to the College World Series with Washington when I was maybe eighth grade freshman of high school. And that's the prime time of when I'm watching college softball. Like, I want to be those girls. And she was up there. And the next day, we're going to the beach in Puerto Rico. And I mean, we won that game that I pitched. And she's like, you know, you pitched a great game. And I was like, this, like, it's being like starstruck as well as she's telling me I'm a good pitcher. So I've had those moments where it's like
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, it's similar to Lauren Hager, right? I think both of them were. Yeah, it's like, you know, Lauren Hager. It would be like if Lauren Hager said, "Hey, you pitched an awesome game," you'd be like, "Oh my god, it's Lauren Hager,"
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So that's cool. And then you have like a mother-daughter combo, right? Like I think the mom was playing, or the daughter was playing third, the mom was playing first, or something like that.
Well, the mom was playing third, the daughter was playing first. The daughter was on like the national team, I think. And I kid you not, the mom who played third, she raked. So I first at bat, I struck her out on like a pretty good changeup. It like came in at the knees and then dropped out, and she swung over it. So next at bat, we go change up first pitch. So I'm like, okay, I mean, first pitch you want to strike. So I throw a pretty good outside changeup at maybe right above knee level, and she hammers it to left field, hammers it. And she got all the way around it, and literally it went over the left fielder's head. Like, I think Tati was in left field, but she, like, barely caught it. But I was like, but apparently she played for, like, the Dominican national team and was, like, really, really good. So, that's sort of the experience and, being the only non-Puerto Rican player on that team, I get a little bit of trash talk from the other teams. Not speaking a speaking a lick of Spanish, I'm as blonde and as white as you can be. So for me to be competing against them, it makes them mad a little bit, but it's really fun. I love my teammates. It was like a vacation plus business trip at the same
There
time.
you go.
I wanna
Yeah, you went to the beach, you got to the beach, the rainforest,
I'm
doing the
hanging out.
clubs.
Yep. I'm doing it all, and then Friday, Saturday, I'm putting on a uniform, and playing in some of the worst humidity I've ever experienced in my life.
And you got pitcher of the week, which was cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really fun. I think I had a few strikeouts. They call it ponche. Ponche.
Ponche,
Like when you translate it, it says punches, but it means like
punches, yeah,
out.
right.
So ponche, strikeout.
Ponche. That's awesome. I'm glad you're experiencing that because not a lot of people do. Right? We've talked about it multiple times at high school or when you're a college softball in college. Your avenues to continue to play softball are very limited. Fortunately, with Tatiana Roman, who played at Iowa, you played with her in 10U and 12U. They have connections, so they invited you. So it's been a great experience. You're going back in July, I think you said 8, 9.
7th because we
We got
play.
practice.
Yeah, we play the 12th, so we have like 2 practices before that.
Yep, and then me, Jesse, and Mom, we're gonna head out there on the 18th, 17th through the 21st. So we get to experience Puerto Rico. So this is good. It's good for the family. It's good for you. Then you're gonna come back early September. You're gonna head to Australia.
Late September.
Late September.
Yeah.
And you're gonna do that until May of 26.
Yeah, I think the season ends around April-ish, and then I mean, I really want to kind of since softball is going to be the main I'm going to be working, I'm going to be playing softball a lot. Um I really want to explore a little bit outside of where I'm at in Australia and then maybe go see New Zealand. I wanted to go to New Zealand for a really long time, so that's right next to Australia. So it'd be like after the season ends, kind of want to travel a little bit and then I'll come back home and then go get my master's somewhere. I don't know where yet.
That's right. So we're doing some searching because you want to do a sports psychology. You also want to be a GA at that college. We want to make sure that. So there's two things that need to line up, right? That they got to have your major, or not the major, but what you want for your master's, and they need to have a softball team that is willing to take you because it doesn't make sense for you to be a GA and then have the softball coach say, "Nah, we're good." Right?
Yeah, that's the whole goal.
It is. So looking forward to it. I'm glad you're home for the next 2.5 weeks. We're gonna go in and out right now and have your first hamburger
Finally.
in how long?
Well, actually, we're going to go. There's a really good hamburger place. It's called El Hamburger. And and their burgers are about like half the size of a normal looking hamburger, so you should get two, but they were really, really good. So we're gonna go
All
there.
right. We'll take care of you. We'll get some animal style fries for you. Get you a Diet Coke. All right, Lace. I love you.
Love
See you
you.
in like 2 seconds. See you in 2 seconds. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Catch you guys on the other side.